Norm right now is at another town, same situation, beautiful lot. They tore the house down, they're putting in this spectacular house.
Ah, Matt, this is cool. Arriving at an old house in an old truck. Now, what's the story with the truck?
Oh, it's a 1929 Model A, Norm, built in October of 1929.
Wow, she's a beauty.
She's still around.
And what's with the house?
Well, the house is actually a 2002 Colonial Revival.
Really, it looks like it's been here for 100 years.
Well, that's what we hoped it would look like, Norm. It's actually for sale if you want to buy it.
Well, I have a house, but I'd certainly be happy to look around. I'm always interested in looking at a house.
Oh, I'd love to show it to you.
So, where'd the inspiration for this come from?
Well, we took a look at the neighborhood that we had, and we have several substantial old houses in the neighborhood. We have shingle styles like the one across the street,
right.
And we also have some Queen Anne's up the street and other Victorians.
So you really wanted to make sure that whatever was here was appropriate for the neighborhood?
Absolutely. So we chose the Colonial Revival style.
Well, let's look at some of the details, because certainly for me, the first thing that grabs my eye is this beautiful window that's right in the center of the house. With the, is that a salvage piece?
Actually, this is a brand new window.
Really?
It comes from some photos that we had taken of houses on Boston's North Shore.
Mm-hmm.
We had it made by a local millwork shop.
Well, it's beautiful. And how about the railings?
Those are actually mahogany, and we use cedar as well, mostly all wood on those window and rail.
And the brackets?
Those are actually polyurethane.
Really? So like us, you're not afraid to use modern materials on, trying to build a classic house?
Absolutely. I think we have to.
Well, you don't want the things to rot away too
Exactly.
quickly. Now, nice front entranceway. How about the columns? What are they made out of?
Well, the columns are fiberglass, actually. The base is poly, but they have all the door proportions, which is very nice.
Yeah, and they're not going to rot away.
No, we know about that.
Nice front entrance.
Thank you. This was built again by the millwork shop in Somerville at J.P. Moriarty.
Oh, I know J.P. He's done a lot of work for us in the past.
He's really my mentor. He's a great guy.
Well, it certainly looks like you got the details right. I think that's what's most important when you do a house like this.
Well, we didn't do anything new here. We just did what should be done in a Colonial Revival.
And you used true examples for your inspiration.
Absolutely. It was all researched.
Now, you have a flat roof above this porch, but I don't see any downspouts. How are you getting rid of the water?
Aha. Well, was not going to put downspouts on top of these beautiful Doric columns. So what we've done is devised a way to have the downspout inside the column, goes through the concrete deck and out to a perimeter drainage system.
Oh, very clever. And what if it blocks up?
Well, we have a grill up on the top to keep that from happening, and it's glued down so it should remain for many years.
All right. Now, one thing that looks incomplete is the surface of the driveway. It looks like it needs another coat.
Well, it actually has just the binder, but we wanted to give the homeowner the option to have, we'd like to see a gravel driveway here, but if they have children, they might rather have it paved, so they have that option.
Okay. Now, one thing that I like is that somehow you've managed to recess the garage doors under this porch. We're not looking at overhead doors right in our face. That's very clever.
I just can't stand that 3 giant garage doors on the front of a house. It was nice that we were able to put them under.
Now, this is a nice corner lot. Was it empty? How come it was available?
Actually, there was a 1953 ranch on this site that we actually tore down.
Oh, so you tore it down and built a new one.
That's right. Something that I think is a little more appropriate for this established neighborhood.
Well, it sure seems that way.
Well, thanks, Norm.
Now, as an old-time carpenter, the first detail that I'm missing is an old-fashioned 1x4 square edge fir deck. Where is it?
But you're absolutely right, Norm. The fir deck would be appropriate here. But I've seen so many fir decks in such rotten and worn-out condition that we wanted to give the homeowner something more permanent that they wouldn't have to maintain and worry about. So it's actually concrete.
And this is not easy to do. I mean, you got to make sure that this is properly pitched and that the concrete is laid just right so that you don't get a lot of cracks in it later.
Absolutely. It's all pitched from the house, and it's high-stress concrete. It's reinforced over the garage. It probably is more expensive than the wood.
Well, we see more and more architects speccing these hard decks for just the reasons that you've given.
I think it's responsible.
Now, these windows, are these custom units?
Actually, a lot of the windows on the house, these 6/1s, are actually a stock window, but we've ordered them with the right accessories. This has an extra thick sill nosing, which you can order from the factory with extended sill horns. And then we have a casing that we've actually had custom made and applied to the window. That was not from the factory.
Right. But ordering the window correctly is what makes it appropriate for the house.
I think a lot of people aren't aware that you can get those options still.
So let's take a look inside.
Oh, I'd love to.
Great doorbell.
Thanks.
Oh, look at this entryway. A marble floor, mosaic.
Actually, mosaic marble, handmade, and even the corners are wrapped with a design. We had it made for the space.
Wow, nice.
It's expensive, but it's very important in the front hall.
Nice big entry hall. Oh, and where'd you get this? A bronze fixture on top of the newel?
This was actually a lamp from a catalog that my wife found, solid bronze, and it was just what we were looking for.
Hey, it looks like the right thing for the area. And this arch, it's beautiful, nice and graceful, sort of frames this whole stairway area.
Yes, this elliptical arch was a traditional thing that was used in a separation like this in a stair hall back to the colonial times.
Now tell me about the paneling system. I mean, there's a lot of paneling around this hall. Is it all wood?
Actually, this is wood with a panel molding applied to the plaster as the panel. And then this has a chair rail, which we made up of various parts.
And so how did you get that?
Well, we started with an insert that's actually commercially available. And we had a molding made that would accept that insert.
So you just glued it in there.
Exactly. And then we capped it with a chair rail cap, like so.
Nice. So it's not that difficult. If you know what you want, you can have all these moldings run off.
No, I think if you're willing to spend the time with the research, there's a lot of great stuff available now.
So from the front hallway, we're leading into what would be, I guess, the formal living room?
Yes, this is the living room.
Boy, nice cornice work all the way around, over a beautiful fireplace. Boy, this is quite the marble.
A lot of miters. That's black Portoro.
And a painted ceiling.
Yes, well, my wife thought it would be a wonderful idea to paint the ceiling, and she does a lot of the design work in the house with me, and I think it came out beautifully.
So you and your wife are the design committee?
Absolutely, the two of us, it's a full-time job, and she's absolutely very important in the process.
You have a good eye for it. It looks great.
Thank you.
Now, what's the floor material?
This is actually Brazilian walnut, or also known as ipe, which is used outside as well.
We've used it on decks, but isn't it tough to put a finish on?
That was a real challenge, but we were able to get the right products, and as you can see, it really did finish up nicely.
It looks great. And I suppose this would be the dining room?
Yes.
High paneling with a plate rail, and boy, you got some nice light fixtures here too.
Thank you. We didn't want to put in the cheap builder special light fixtures. So this is a Williamsburg reproduction.
Now, I noticed also as I was walking through, you really paid attention to the hardware details. I mean, this is quite a piece of hardware on these French doors.
Yeah, it's actually sensible too, because you just undo one Cremoni bolt and the door simply opens without having to bend and stoop for flush bolts and a big process that nobody can seem to figure out.
Right, simple is better.
Exactly.
And this leads into what appears to be sort of a little pantry area.
Yes, the butler's pantry.
Oh, and a sudden change of wood. We have quarter-sawn oak cabinets. Now, were these site-built?
These are actually made by a wonderful company in Maine that does period cabinetry. They do a wonderful job.
Wood countertop, brass sink. Now, what's behind this?
This is actually a dumbwaiter, Norm. It's used to transport the goods from the lower level pantry up into the kitchen.
So
since we have underground parking here, that way you can get your things up to the kitchen easily.
It's like an elevator.
Exactly.
And now into the kitchen. Some more oak cabinets, soapstone countertops. Boy.
With the dishwasher hidden behind the panel.
So, you know, this wouldn't have been a period kitchen in a house like this.
No, we had a hard time with that, but we decided to take the Newport Butler's Pantry concept and expand it into the whole kitchen.
Right. It's not large, but you've concealed all the appliances. You have a modern-day cook stove here.
Exactly.
But I don't see a lot of upper cabinet storage.
No, we didn't want to have that huge wall of cabinets, so we have a lot of supplemental pantries. The butler's pantry, there's a full larder in here, which is very convenient and easy to access your goods, as well as a large pantry in the cellar.
Yeah, I think people should do more of that, you know, just have general storage areas.
It makes sense.
And this leads into a breakfast nook, I guess?
Yes, the breakfast room.
Oh, look at this ceiling, sort of vaulted at different angles, and the woodwork, panels all the way around the perimeter. You sort of have this tapered opening with tapered panels. There's a lot of work there.
There's over a mile of panel molding of this design in the house, and actually one of my carpenters had to do all that miter work, Bill Wadland. And
That must have kept him busy.
He got tired of miters, but he did a great job on it.
So how many men worked on this job?
There were actually a team of 3 of us carpenters mainly who were here throughout. Pete Mahoney, Bill Wadland, and myself.
So you're a hands-on craftsman as well?
I think it's the only way to do it.
Well, the workmanship is beautiful.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Now, what would you call this room?
This is what we call the castle room.
And this has a total wood ceiling,
Absolutely.
some more beautiful millwork and panels. This must have taken some time.
Well, it wasn't so bad, Norm, because being the designer and the carpenter, I designed it with J.P. Moriarty in such a way that it would go together very efficiently and rapidly. So it actually didn't take that long. With modern technology, these things really can be done.
More panels here, a concrete fireplace hearth.
This is based on the, it's based on the Chateau Frontenac in Quebec, actually.
So with 3 men, how long did it take you to do this job?
We were here for 14 months once the foundation was in.
That's pretty impressive. Now, what's this floor?
This floor we saw in a lot of old houses. You can still get this original quarry tile with the tight grout joint, and we just thought it'd be perfect
And
here.
did you put something on it?
It has a sealer to give it a little bit of a shine.
Right, looks good. Now, what's this area all about? I see there's a little bath here down at the end, but you have a wet area right here.
Yeah, this is a traditional mudroom with a sink, and we have a small combination washer and dryer in one appliance for any convenience laundry, maybe something from the kitchen or dirty clothes. But there's also a full laundry room upstairs.
And then you have a room here, and the materials change again. You've got straight grain fir on the floor, nice finish.
The fir has just that informal appeal that the old houses had. I love the material.
And you weren't shy with the paint color in here either.
No, again, my wife does a wonderful job picking the paint colors, and she very much enjoys it.
So this could be a home office or a first floor bedroom, right?
Yeah, or an au pair suite.
Great, nice job.
Thank you.
Well, now that you've finished the house, what kind of interest has there been?
Well, it's been very well received, Norm, from passers-by to potential buyers to historians.
So who do you think will end up buying it?
Well, I'd love to think it's somebody who really appreciates all the detail and time we've put into the design, as well as somebody who loves old houses but maybe doesn't want all the maintenance issues.
Well, I think you're headed in the right direction.
Well, thank you. This in through here is the master suite. We have a sitting room in the front.
Okay.
And then in this room we have a closet you might be interested in.
Oh, nice big walk-in closet. Finally, someone's made a closet large enough for my collection of plaid shirts. And some cedar drawers.
Oh, you can keep your wool plaid shirts in there, Norm.
Great. So this leads into the master?
This is the master bedroom, Norm.
A chandelier in the master?
Oh, you've got to have a chandelier in the master bedroom.
You've thought of it all. And a fireplace. What is this stone? I don't think I've ever seen this.
This is imported French onyx. This is actually a semi-precious stone.
Wow, it's beautiful. I love it.
Thank you. My wife picked that out.
And then we're from here.
Well, in this room, if you like that onyx there, Norm, wait till you see this bathroom.
Wow, look at this. You have it on the floor,
Yes.
on the counters.
There's 12 slabs of this French onyx in here.
Wow. Again, you've got beautiful light fixtures as well as the plumbing fixtures.
Thank you. And there's a very interesting little secret around that sink. If you watch, I'll turn on this switch, and we've got light introduced into the stone.
Look at that.
Sort of a wonderful night light.
Wow. And you have onyx around the tub.
Yep, and again the same lighting technique that we have around the tub, as well as we have a nice faux painted ceiling with clouds that you can gaze up at while you're soaking in your tub.
Oh, it looks great. Now what's through this door?
This is a sort of part of the master suite as well, but it's a beautiful walnut library.
Oh, nice. Plenty of shelf storage for all your books. And cabinets down below.
You know, your model boat collection.
Some more walnut flooring.
Yes, we have all the hookups for, we have Cat5 and cable, as well as switched plug outlets, so you can put your desk here and have all the necessary wires.
Right, so all the high-tech wiring is in place.
Throughout the house, which is another great
Well,
advantage.
you know, you got my interest up. Where do I sign up?
Well, we have one more room to show you, which I think might put you over the edge.
All right, let's see that.
Okay.
Well, I certainly do not feel like I'm going down into a basement. A full finished stair with a nice railing and hardwood floors.
Yes, we use the same details for the rail as we have in the main house.
And what's this, another storage room?
This is a great big storage pantry. It's on the same level as the garage so that you can bring all the things right in here. And then as you need them, you can send them up the dumbwaiter, which goes up to that butler's pantry upstairs.
That is great.
What I really wanted to show you is right this way.
So there's quite a bit of space down here.
Lots of storage. And in here, through this carpeted labyrinth, and then beyond through this gold door, Norm, we have your very own home theater.
The media room. Big screen. Now the carpet, I guess, serves a good function because it sort of takes up the sound in the room. The rest of the surfaces are hard, and you've got all this nice gold trim all around the room.
When we need to dim the lights, we simply use the remote control.
Yeah.
Close the shades, dim the lights with another button, and we can watch some movies.
Or this old house.
What a great choice, huh?
Wow, Matt, you've got it all. I guess I should get my checkbook. I think it's in my truck.
Well, let's go.
Well, Matt, you and your team have done a wonderful job on this house. And if I had $4.6 million to buy a house, I would much rather buy a house of this size and this level of craftsmanship and detail rather than have one that's twice as big with half the detail.
Well, we feel the same way, and we've consciously decided to use that development cost that would have gone to sheer volume and used it instead on the details and the materials in the house. And we feel people will really appreciate that.
Well, I think you're onto a great concept, and I hope people do accept it because this is terrific. And I hope that you get back every penny and more that you've put into it.
Thank you, Norm. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks for coming. I'll show you the door.
You know, Tom, $4.5 million is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, Steve, but they'll get it, believe me.
You know what I like? If we do it right, this is going to be a fabulous shared landscape.
It is. It's going to be great. I think it benefits both people.
So what did you guys think?
Beautiful job. Superb craftsmanship, no?
Yeah.
How long did it take?
3 carpenters, a little over a year, a lot of long days.
Yeah, I bet.
but look at the results. So there have been some changes around here.
Yeah, and the biggest change is the stair to the basement. Originally, it started out in the hall, came down, turned the